Okay, part 2 of the video. Jay is moving from an apartment in Miami to one in Orlando. If Jay moves on a weekday, he's going to need more movers time to pack, load, unload, and unpack because his friends will not be able to help him. So a weekday move, he's going to take more time because his friends are not going to be available. On a weekend, he'll have his friends there. So 6 hours of loading and unloading and 5 hours of packing, and the total cost would be $720. This was to hire movers. So he's hiring movers. Okay. On a weekend move, 4 hours of loading and unloading, 2 hours of packing and unpacking, and a $400 cost. So what we're trying to figure out here is their hourly rates. So we can set up an equation based on each situation. So you guys remember systems of equations where there was 2 equations. So 6 hours of loading and unloading plus 5 hours of packing equaled 720. The other situation is 4 hours of loading plus 2 hours of packing equaled 400. And now you have this system of equations. We can use elimination, if you remember how to do this. Okay. You need to get these matching coefficients or these matching coefficients. And then I can subtract the 2 equations. So I'm going to multiply this top equation by 4, and I want to multiply the bottom equation by 6. So when you multiply the top equation by 4, you get 24L plus 20P times 4 times 4 times 4. You get 2880, and now I'm going to multiply times 6 times 6 times 6. So you get 24L plus 12P equals 2400. And now that these L's are the same, the loading and unloading, if I subtract these 2 equations, remember systems of equation, I get 8P equals 480. And when I divide by 8, I get P to be 60. So 60 would be the packing and unpacking fee, $60 per hour for packing and unpacking, because this is the hours and that's the cost. Okay, to find out how much it would cost for the loading and unloading, I would just plug this back into one of my equations for P. So I'll use this second equation. So 4L plus 2 times P is equal to 400. And when I solve this, I'll find out how much it cost me for the loading and the unloading. 2 times 60 is 120. When I take away 120 from both sides, I'm left with 280. When I divide by 4, I get 70. So the cost for packing is 60 per hour. The cost for loading and unloading is 70 per hour. So you can always set up a system of equations. Look at one more of those. Samantha's moving from Madison, Wisconsin. She'll do all the packing and unpacking by herself with her brother. The moving company quoted a price of $12.50 for 8 hours of loading and unloading and driving 130 miles. Okay, so it was $1,250 for 8 hours of loading and unloading and driving 130 miles. The company quoted the same price if the truck drives an extra 30 miles to pick up Samantha's brother. Samantha figures that with her brother's help, she only needs to hire the movies for 6 hours. So we can write 2 equations. So 8 hours plus the 130 per mile, 130 miles, would equal $1,250. So here's labor cost plus the truck rental cost, 130 miles times the cost for the rental per mile equals that. And there's the other situation, 6 hours of loading and unloading, 160 miles because we're driving 30 extra miles for the same price. So I can use elimination here again. So see what they did. I would multiply the top one by 6 and the bottom one by 8. And you would end up with the same equations. And then you can work it like you did the last one. So you can find out the cost for moving. That's one of the costs involved when renting an apartment or moving from one apartment to the other, and you have to consider that.